Welcome to a new episode of Ausfahrt.tv in what I call English, and I'm your host, Mr. Z. Today we're going to present you the BMW i8, the hybrid sports car from BMW, from the BMW i family. For those of you who are new to our format, that are new to Ausfahrt.tv, I would like to say, yes, our reviews are really, really long. We know this. And so the description of this video is very interesting for you. Please look it up. In the descriptions you find jump markers. Our reviews are separated in different sections, and you can jump from section to section. In case you're not interested in the interior, for instance, just jump to the next section, or you watch two sections at the first day and the other ones at the following days. However you like it. Plus, you find the technical data of the test car in the description text as well. And we link all the reviews from other cars that are relevant to this car in the video description as well. In 2009, at the IAA Motor Show in Frankfurt, Germany, BMW introduced a concept car with the name BMW Vision Efficient Dynamics, which was showing already a little bit the shape of the car that we know today as BMW i8. In 2011, again on the Frankfurt Motor Show, they introduced another concept called BMW i8 already. And at the IAA 2013 in Frankfurt, they presented the production car, the BMW i8. They started delivering the first cars to the customers in summer 2014. And the car, by the way, is built in Leipzig in Germany. Well, with a BMW i8, the guys from Munich constructed a very unique car. It's a plug-in hybrid sports car with a visionary exterior, and so it's hard to find really competitors. Or do you know any? In the German press, they try to compare it to the Porsche 911 or to the Tesla Model S. I think they're both not really competitors, but at least I want to name them. Well, thank you BMW for making it easy for me with the BMW i8. I don't have to memorize any engine values because it's just this one car with this one powertrain package. So it's a plug-in hybrid all-wheel drive sports car. We have on the front axis an electric engine with 131 horsepower, which is good for a maximum torque of 250 Newton meters, and as usual for electric engines, you get them right away from the start. On the rear axis we have a 1.5 liter 3-cylinder petrol engine with 231 horses, which is good for maximum torque of 320 Newton meters, and you get them starting at 3,700 RPM. We just detached a whole bunch of stuff to at least look at the engine, but there's still something that you can't really see the engine. However, at least you can see a little bit of it. Okay, having the petrol engine on the rear axis and the electric engine on the front axis, we just add both values and get 362 horses. By the way, the petrol engine works with a 6-speed automatic transmission that you can influence if you want to, while the electric engine has a 2-gear transmission that you can't influence. That's all done electronically. And you should know there's no physical connection between the two axes. So if you are driving all electric and silent, that's just the front axis, you have a front wheel driven car. And if the battery is empty and you drive with a petrol engine, you have a rear wheel driven car. And with gas in the tank and power in the battery, you have this all-wheel drive. Let me give you the basic facts about the BMW i8 real quick. It accelerates from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour or 62 miles per hour in 4.4 seconds, and the top speed is reached at 250 kilometers per hour or 155 miles per hour. The gas tank of the BMW i8 is good for 30 liters or 7.9 gallons. As an option, you get a 42-liter tank as well. BMW claims an NEFZ fuel consumption of 2.1 liters and 11.9 kilowatt hours on 100 kilometers. This is a value which is really strange, and due to our European measurement system, it's just weird. Don't listen to it. I'm just naming it because it's part of the job. However, BMW says that under perfect conditions you can reach up to 440 kilometers or 273 miles without getting gas. With the optional 42 linker tank, it would be a reach of 600 kilometers or 372 miles. In terms of the CO2 emissions, BMW says that the BMW i8 sets free 49 grams per kilometer. The BMW i8 has a length of 4.7 meters, which equals 185 inches, with a wheelbase of 2.8 meters, which equals 110 inches. It is 1 meter and 30 centimeters high, so 55 inches, and has a width of 1.94 meters or 76 inches. From mirror tip to mirror tip, it's even 2 meter and 22 centimeters or 87 inches. As of the turning circle, you need at least 12.3 meters or 40.4 feet of free space. The curb weight is 1,485 kilograms or 3,274 pounds. The admissible total weight is 1,855 kilograms, which equals 4,090 pounds. In Germany, our test car would cost round about 137,100 euros. BMW is really proud of the BMW i8 because it's the first car for them, and they say worldwide, which is using CFK or carbon fiber as a structure for the chassis. Well, for the outside, for the car itself. We have sort of an alloy frame down there that holds the battery, and in front and in the rear is good for protection in terms of a car crash. You don't want to have the carbon fiber to get all the shock absorption that does the alloy stuff. However, they used CFK to make the car lighter. Because of the battery, they put a lot of weight in the car, so they try to reduce the weight of the car by using carbon fiber. What I like is that they say all the parts that are out of carbon fiber are either just put together or screwed together. They're not glued together. So in case someone scratches or destroys one part of your car, it's easy to replace and you don't have to pay so much. If they had glued it, just you had to do a whole bunch of more work for that. Carbon fiber, by the way, is 50% lighter than the lightest steel and 30% lighter than alloy. Two things. First of all, BMW is so proud. Well, we make its car really light. We use carbon fiber, for the chassis and all that, and alloy, and wow. So we have a weight of the car of 1,485 kilograms. The other day we reviewed the Porsche 911 Carrera 4 GTS, and that one has without any carbon fiber, has a weight of 1,490 kilograms. So this car is just 5 kilograms lighter than the 911, and that makes me wonder, oh, well, BMW, I mean, really, this is really good, made in Germany, with all the engineer power we got, and I believe it, really, I do. But on the other hand, I say, well, just 5 kilograms lighter than a Porsche? Why all this carbon fiber? I don't get it. Second point is, this car has a CD value of 0.26. And you might say here and say, oh yeah, I believe it. It's all great shaped and we have this fancy stuff here and in the back. And well, that's a good value. On the other hand, we just reviewed the new Audi A4 E-State version with a CD value of 0.26. They have the same CD value. And that makes me wonder, well, on one hand, this car, out of the next century. Really awesome, futuristic looking. And on the other hand, the sweet, nice and rather casual looking E-State version of a mid-sized car, they have the same value. That just makes me wonder, why, I don't know. Okay, the BMW always comes with full LED lights. As an option, you get a package with some more features of the LED lights, especially driving fast on the Autobahn. The light is putting everything bright in a different way than on the regular streets and so on. As an option, and as a free option, you get even laser light high beams for the car. I'm not too sure about all this laser light stuff because I had a talk with a professional or with an expert, and he explained it to me why laser light is not that exciting at all, and that actually full LED lights are better than laser. But I haven't made up my mind yet. However, what I like about the BMW, this is just for Germany, the pricing, but you will get an idea for your country as well. So the basic model costs 130,000 euros in Germany. And if you put all the optional parts in there, you end up a little bit more than 140,000 euros, which is for a premium car pretty exciting, I think, because most likely if you, for instance, take a 2 Series car, takes the basis price and put some stuff in there, you end up paying probably 50% of the basis price for options. And if you get the car fully loaded, it's most likely even 75%. And here you just have a little bit of extra stuff you can order, and then the car's fully loaded. Just 10,000 euros more, and I think that's a good attempt to do things. Well, you can order the BMW i8 in 6 different color combinations. Our combination is called Protonic Blue with Frozen Gray Metallic. You pay a little bit extra for this color. You don't have to pay extra for the 20-inch alloy wheels. Our model, however, called W whatever, you don't want to know it, is an optional item, and those 20-inch cost extra. Normally the car is equipped with a little bit wider tires on the rear. We have winter tires on our test car, both with a dimension 215/45. Okay, here is where you can plug in the power supply and charge the car, while the battery is in the middle, in the center console of the car, to the very low, so you have a low point of gravity, which is good for a sports car, of course. The battery has a capacity of 5.2 kilowatt hours, and BMW says you can charge them on a regular power outlet up to 80% in 3 hours. And if you take one of these public charging stations or order the BMW i wall box, you can charge up to 80% in just 2 hours. I was wondering, well, how long does it take to charge 100%, but didn't find any information about that. We don't have the time to really drive this car a lot. We're doing the review, and our review is based on what's going on inside the car and a little bit of driving experience and all that. So actually, we would have to drive this car at least the whole day to get some numbers that are realistic for the consumption of power and gas, but we don't have to. So I read up some articles and found something in the German auto test, and they said that they got along with a fuel consumption of 4.5 liters and a power consumption of 12 kilowatt hours. They said if you drive only with a petrol engine, you have to calculate a fuel consumption of 12.6 liters. BMW, however, says, well, if you just drive with a petrol engine, 8 liters and 100 kilometers should be enough. Well, Toby and I, we are pretty sure that, for us at least, the back of the BMW i8 is the most interesting and beautiful view of the whole car. I have to confess, I really like the car from the exterior. I think it really looks Yeah, well, from another century, as I said before. So I like this part, it's floating sort of into the three-dimensional looking full LED rear lights. And yeah, I think they're awesome looking, really, with this eyebrow sort of up here and the three-dimensional part down here. Here we got the i8 badge and the eDrive badge on the other side. Well, they don't have to be there, actually, do they? Still, we have a combustion engine, so where's the exit pipe? Well, I think they thought about, well, this is a futuristic car, actually almost a green car, I mean, you can go up to 37 kilometers just full electrically, so why showing an exit pipe? It's hidden down here, and it's even a double exit pipe. Okay, yesterday night we took the car for a little drive to meet up with some fellow colleagues and have some good dinner, some good Bavarian dinner. And I was driving in the parking spot and I was opening the door about with this speed, because I was so scared to scratch the other car, because it's so, it flies up the door. And, I was so scared to break something or scratch anything, which is so stupid. But you sit inside and you don't see how the door moves. And that's sort of irritating. But the car, with from mirror tip to mirror tip, it's 2 meter and 2 meter 22 centimeters wide. And if you open the car is 2 meters and 77 centimeters wide. So the whole door for opening just uses 55, so half a meter of space, which is less than any other regular door would have. So actually it's a pretty neat thing. And if you have a garage where you want to park your car in, they open to a height of 1 meter and 69 centimeters. No, 96 centimeters. That's almost as tall as Toby is. So this is around about 6'5". So your garage has to be a height of 6'5". And you need 3 meter and 30 centimeters of wide to open both doors in your garage. Well, however, once again, I lifted and now I can get in, and I kind of hate it. I would like to make a cut, so just sitting in. Well, getting inside the car is actually easier than one might think. All you have to do is put one of your feet in the car and then slide with your butt over this thing here. And it's easy as well. Just grab the handle and close the door. That's lightweight. So welcome in the interior of the BMW i8. Before I start with a normal routine, I would like to point out, I told you earlier, there are just a few options. So all the options we got in here are the blue seat belts. Cost in Germany €400 extra. The dark ceiling costs €380 extra. The head-up display €1,400, and the Harman Kardon premium sound system €900. So that's all. Everything else is factory setting, and I like it. And the leather we have here and on our seats. There's a little neat story about the leather as well. Well, if you tear the skin from the animal, the poor animal, and then you want to put it in the car, you have to have different steps in between. Most of them work with not really healthy chemicals, and BMW has a way to put this leather in this condition on a natural-based way, and I think I like it. They try to do a lot of stuff around about the materials of the BMW i8 in an environment-friendly way. So peace, and yes, Mother Earth likes the BMW i8. So it's not only the leather. Some parts are made of recycled PET bottles, so plastic bottles, and the alloy, the whole alloy that is used in the car is recycled alloy. And I like this idea. I like this building a car in a nature-friendly way. And I've read something about the production of the i8 is, I think, they use 30% less resources while constructing or building one car in comparison to other regular cars. And I think that's a good thing. It's built in Leipzig, I told you, right? Okay, but now let's start. So we have leather all over here. Actually, wherever I put my hand, I feel leather and I like it. I like it a lot. And here we have some paint finish, and even that feels pretty neat. So I hardly find any hard plastics. Oh yeah, finally, hard plastic. But everything else really feels premium. And even the grip, the inner side of the grip is coated with leather, so that's good. I like it. It's a neat finish, and yes, it is a premium appeal in this car. Concerning the space, I want to let you know I'm 180 centimeters tall, so 5'11". I have no problems finding a good sitting position in this car. Still can put a fist between my head and the ceiling, so I have a lot of head space to the right, to the left. Everything is fine. And since the center console is sort of growing to the front and we have this swing here off the dashboard, the car, if I look, it looks spacious too. I've driven yesterday with Toby a little while in the BMW i8, and I can say, even with someone on your passenger seat, it feels like I have my area, he or she has his area. So it's not that it feels tight at all. Actually, it feels inside much wider than the car actually is. That's neat. Well, using the car inside, well, first of all, the whole center console is facing me a little bit as a driver, so it's driver-oriented. I like this. And once you've driven one BMW, you get along with all the switches. They're right in place. That's fine. They did a good job. Yeah. Okay. Well, I told you I'm just 180 centimeters tall. I have the size of a casual German guy. But here we got Toby. He's 195 centimeters tall, so 6'5". And I'm wondering, can he sit in this car as well? So please, Toby, come in.
Thanks, Jan. I'll give you some insights now from me. And I think getting into the car when you're a little bit taller is tricky the first 3 or to 10 times, because you have to wrench your legs with the steering wheel a lot. But once you're getting the clue, then it's okay. Just my legs and my arms and the steering wheel, everything is perfectly fine. I have everything in reach. I can reach the pedals. I have enough space for the steering wheel here. But when I'm looking on the roof and my space there, my head space and stuff, then it's very limited. I can hardly fit anything between the ceiling and my head, and my hair is touching the ceiling all the time, to the sides and to the top. But yeah, I mean, it's a kind of flat car, so that was expected. But one thing that really disturbs me, when I'm looking to the right side of the windscreen, then I can hardly see anything, because the mirror is blocking a lot of the right side of the windscreen, and the hood is blocking the other part. So I have nearly no field of view there at all. So I have to go very, very low to see anything there. Yeah, well, you might want to check that out if you want to use this as a daily driver. If that disturbs you, if you're alright with that. But all in all, for the dimensions of the car and its appeal, it's okay.
Well, thank you, Toby, for this insight for long or tall people. So make sure, if you're interested in this car and you're taller, please make a long test drive to make sure you can see everything and sit all right. Okay, let's start with a normal routine. We have no option to adjust the height of the seatbelts on our shoulder, and that is the size of the seatbelt. I can put the seatbelts on the silver thing, so I don't have to reach back all the time like I just did, and then it's right here. They're very convenient. We have leather sport seats I'm sitting on. They're adjustable in an electric way. I was wondering, we don't have any electric lumbar support, so That's kind of strange for this luxury car. However, you can heat them up at least in 3 intensities. And even so the leather is perforated, I don't think there's an option for climated seats, so no cooling seats. Um, yeah, the seats they look sporty, but not like, hardcore sports seats. However, they're comfortable on one side, and I was quite amazed about the side support you get in them. So I didn't mind them at all. No, I don't like driving in them. The steering wheel, it's a leather steering wheel that you can adjust manually, and I like how much you can adjust it, or how much radius you have for the adjustment. It's not only having leather all around wrapped around it. It's this little chrome or alloy line that goes in here. I haven't seen this before, and I like it. It looks pretty neat. We have shifting pedals on both sides that you can reach easily, and from the material it does feel like alloy, but it's obviously not. It's plastic, but they coated it with some tiny alloy coats, I guess. So good job, BMW here. It's a multifunctional steering wheel, so we have switches or buttons on the left side to adjust the cruise control setting, while on the right side we have all the buttons to control the infotainment system. And yeah, feels good. Looking in the rear mirrors, I like the view because you see parts of the back, so it looks like the fender standing out quite a bit, and you see where the body from the lower part and the upper part come together to the rear light. Looks a little bit like a scissor or something. You see this in the rear mirror, but anything else as well. It's big enough to see the traffic behind you in both mirrors. While I'm not too keen about the inner mirror, it's big enough to see the whole rear window, but the rear window is really small. You hardly see anything in there. So actually, they could have, spared this whole thing out. Anyhow, with all the 3 mirrors together, you have an idea what's going on in the rear. Turning my head around the shoulder, I have to say that the B-pillar is pretty big. And there's definitely a blind spot because I don't see anything behind the B-pillar. Turning my head around the other way, here the B-pillar is fine, and I have a little window between the B and the C-pillar, and the C-pillar is just giant big. There is a blind spot for sure. And overall, I can say I don't think that you have a good view in this car at all. It's well, I've driven quite a few cars by now. I think around about 300 or 400 since I started doing this in a professional way. And getting in the car, I was already confused, because I couldn't see everything I wanted. I was used to see. So it's no. You don't have a good overview in this car. You might not mind it because it's a sport car and you're first in line anyway, but at least if you start driving, make sure you have everything, that you double check instead of just, wrecking your car. Just for parking, we have not only a rear camera, but a bird view 360-degree camera in here by factory settings. So it's a standard feature, and that helps you parking at least. That's a good thing. Oh, by the way, yesterday night when we went back to the hotel or hostel or whatever it is, the car got foggy inside. Well, I don't know the word, but the windows got steamy, I guess. That's the word. Steamy windows, no? Tina Turner, steamy windows. Okay, it got all steamy, and I don't know why, because we had the air condition on and we were not wet or anything, but it got steamy. And then was a car coming from behind, and I had this vicious effect. It was like a light tube in the side mirror, really, really irritating. I don't know. Okay, anyhow, yeah, that's it about the overview of the car. Now I have to start the car real quick so that I can tell you what I see. Yeah, bing bing means you got the car started. I can start driving now. Behind the steering wheel, we find a virtual cockpit, or not a virtual cockpit, that's audio, of course, but a little display. And we have two round gauges. On the left side, the speedometer, the common speedometer, going up to 260, car runs 250. And inside, you see the speed as digits as well, and even if there is a speed limit. I like that. It's easy to read. On the right side, we have something sort of an RPM meter for the electric stuff, or it's rather, it's a labeled power in percentage. How much power of the whole system are you using right now? And if you do recuperating, then you can see this as well. If you put the car in sport, well, the regular setting is more bluish, and once you put it in sport, it gets in a vicious red, so, you know, a little aggressive. Now you're in sport mode. The speedometer doesn't change, but the power scale changed in an RPM meter now, going up to 7,000 RPM with a red range starting at 6,500. On the lower line, we have, first of all, the values of the board computer really tiny. That's always the way BMW does. I don't know why. You know, like Mercedes or Volkswagen or Audi, they have this in the center between the gauges. Okay, next to the values of the board computer, really tiny, you see how much gas you still have in the tank, how much petrol, how much fuel there's still in the tank. Next to this, how much power the battery have. Then the reach of the battery, so just for driving electrically. Then the reach of the whole system, the driving program, and the distance of your current trip. And in the very upper part, you see the outside temperature and the current time. And in between, they don't use the space. It's just wasted. Too sad. However, you can read this very good and easily during night and daytime, no problem at all. Same for the 8.8-inch infotainment display. Very sharp, very detailed. In my personal opinion, BMW is building one of the best infotainment system in terms of using it. So ergonomy, whatever you call it. I think it's one of the best systems. It's very intuitive and you can use it easily. Besides that, we have as an option the head-up display I told you, shows you current speed limit, and if you're using the navigation system, current directions where you have to go. Perfect to read as well, and as well, my opinion, Toby's not sharing this, but my opinion, BMW has a bit head-up system, the best that you can read. I like how they put all the information together, like it. Yeah, that's it. Oops, sorry. We do have an ambient light in the car, and it's really neat. You park the car in the dark, and then you push the button for unlocking the car, and you get this blue glooming from the interior to the outside, and it really looks like Back to the Future Part 4. I really like this. I enjoy this. I could do this the whole night, you know, just pushing a button, close, open, close, open. Well, that's one light source, but we do have an ambient light. This big blue light is vanishing once you enter the car. And then we still have an ambient light, LED stripes in the door as well as everywhere in the dashboard, even here a little part. You can change between 3 different colors or just turn it off. So we have blue, white and orange. And you can even say, well, I just want the ambient light in the lower parts but not in the upper parts. So that's pretty neat. I like it. I hope we are able to show you pictures right where I talk. There's no sunroof for this car, not as an option either, but we have a horn and we'll honk it for you. That's how it sounds like. All right, real quick to the compartment check, and I tell you normally that's like I talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk, 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 talk. Here it's pretty short because we don't have so much. In the door panels we have space for nothing because we don't have any compartments in the doors. Nothing, 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 nothing. First compartment is really here in front of the stick for choosing the driving programs. Here's a little compartment where the key fits in, so I think that's pretty much for this. Then we have a compartment here with a lid that I can open. Here we find a USB port and an aux in. My iPhone fits in here, but I will have problems charging it because of the plugs that I have to plug in the iPhone and as well in the USB thing here. Then both won't fit in together. Well, it's this way already complicated. Then there's a cup holder, one cup holder for two people. Well, let's share a drink, you know. However, it doesn't have spacers, so this bottle, which is not even small, is shaking around, and you won't probably fit in larger bottles. Maybe a Starbucks cup. Then here's another compartment with two slots and how you call this? A 12-volt outlet. And my wallet fits in there, but my wallet is skinny because I'm a poor guy. No? Behind those compartment we have two more cup holders and a little thing for something. I don't really know if this is meant to be for the passengers in the rear, but just thinking I would be driving, I could, well, at least use it. You know, it's not comfortable, but it would work. But once again, even the thing that you can remove right here does not have really spacers, so this bottle is shaking around as well. You have the option either to put this in or just a flat anti-slip surface, so you could store something in there. Okay, the gloves compartment will hold some gloves, nothing more. With the board material right in here and some warning vests, and with these two things it's almost completely loaded, so no really space in here. Let me put this real quick in there. With sun shields on both sides. Both have makeup mirrors and both are not illuminated, so we don't have a light here. On the left side we have this rubber band for tickets or whatever. We have reading lights for the driver and the passenger seat, and an entry light which illuminates the whole light thing here. And no handles and nothing else. That's it. Okay, usually I don't show you how I get out of the car because, you know, common sense, getting in and getting out, pretty much the same thing. This time I would like to embarrass myself. So I put one foot outside and try to push myself out of the damn sport car. And as I might say, you know, I'm 44 years old, even though I look much younger, of course, but climbing out of the car is sort of interesting even for me. Okay, the BMW is a 2+2 seater, so we have sort of two seats in the rear, and my name is Jan Danger Seeker Mr. Z Gleitzmann, or rather Mr. Danger Seeker Z Gleitzmann, and so I'm willing to climb in the back and check out the space. First of all, I have to pull back the belt, and then there's a handle right between the headrest of the front seat, so I can flip the backrest off the front seat. Okay, Danger Seeker task. One foot and bending my head as much as possible, the other one. Sliding to the back, pressing my legs and pushing back the seat. Yeah, I would actually be able to sort of sit here. It's not really sitting. And as we already recorded the German clip, one can still close the door without harming my knee. It's okay. Okay, as you can tell already just by looking, I'm not sitting here in any way comfortable. My legs are spread apart. I have no space for my head. I have to nod my head. Actually, I have to sit this way like in a bob, you know, like in the ice channel. However, I can imagine sitting this way for maybe 5 to 10 minutes, so I don't have to walk in the rain or something. But otherwise, it's a rather crime to tell your body, hey, just hop on the back seats. It's not hopping, and this is really painful to sit here. I will just release the seat real quick. Even if kids sit in here, and we have Isofix hooks, the locks of the safety belts are stable, and the length of the seatbelt might even be enough to buckle up a child seat, maybe. But even if you have a seat in here, buckling up your kids, if they can't do it by themselves, must be pretty painful, I guess. And yeah, here's a net. Oh, I know, I was pointing out, when kids sit here and you have the seat in front of you, they will probably put their feet against this part, and I assume that the driver will notice someone kicking his back. So that's not really a good idea. We have a hook for a jacket or something up here. A net down here, a little net. And that's about it. There's not much to tell you about this part here. And this, no. I can tell you the seats are not that uncomfortable, actually, but we don't have a headrest, so it's dangerous for grown-ups anyway. So, well, yeah, in terms of security, it wouldn't be really reasonable to drive this way anyway. Well, since we showed you getting outside the car from the front, why not the same with the rear? 1 foot out. And hey, you know, that's pretty easy stuff. You know, I'm used to this. That's actually, I like to sit in the back. Before I show you what BMW calls trunk, I would like to show you the key. And just a little note, I told you a little bit about all this biological material and the nature-friendly ideas behind this car. Even this key is made of natural resources. It's a biological polymer based on, I don't know if this is the English word, ricino's seeds. And so this material and 30% of glass fiber, and you can make a nice key out of it. The backside is pretty simple, while on the front side we see the BMW badge as a lock button, an unlock button, a button to open the lid of the trunk, and some other button. I have no idea what it's good for. To open the trunk, you can either use a button in the door or this remote. And I'm doing this right now. And here goes up the lid. And to be honest, when I first saw the lid opening, before I knew the engine was in here as well, I was thinking, whoa, quite a good trunk, good job. But as we know, part of it is just space for the engine. And so the trunk is rather small. And here we have the charger for the normal power outlet. And to lift it up again in the trunk, we have to lift it up 97 centimeters, so around about 38 inches. And I think that's a record value for our test cars here. And then it goes down again 38 centimeters, so 15 inches. What they call trunk is around about 77 centimeters wide at the widest part, so 30 inches. And at the smallest part, it's only 40 centimeters, so around about 16 inches. It is around about 33 centimeters, so 13 inches deep. And well, altogether, it has storage for 154 liters or 5 cubic feet. And to be honest, that's nothing. It's more a joke than anything else. We didn't bring too much luggage because we know the space in the car was so limited. I think a board case and Yata trolley will fit in here, but then nothing else. So it's really sad that you don't have space to well, put your lady or your favorite guy in the car and go for a little cruise on a weekend trip. Well, maybe you put it all on the rear seats. You can load up to 370 kilograms or 816 pounds inside the BMW i8. I haven't found a value if you can put anything on the roof, I doubt it. And of course, you cannot install any hooks for a trailer. Right now I'm driving 50 kilometers an hour and the car goes all electric until 65 kilometers per hour. So now the gasoline engine kicks in. You have 3 different driving modes: Comfort, Eco Pro and Sport. Besides that, you have an e-drive button that is sort of overruling the other functions. If you push the e-drive button, the car goes all electric all the way. And you can drive up to 120 kilometers per hour all electric. If you don't have this button pushed, then, as I told you, the combustion engine kicks in at 65 kilometers per hour, or if you do a kick down. Excuse me. Eco Pro is for more efficient driving, while Comfort is just a comfort ride. If you want to switch to Sport, you can't do this over this what BMW calls Fahrerlebnisschalter, so the switch to change the driving modes, but you have to push the stick for choosing the driving modes to the left, and then the engine kicks in with some nice sound, and the cockpit gets a different color, turns from blue to red. I really enjoy the sound. It's just a 3-cylinder, and that's so amazing how neat the sound is. But we have to say there's a little speaker underneath the rear bench that is helping with the sound feeling. So it sounds inside a little bit different than from the outside. However, I like the sound, and especially driving in Sport is pretty cool. Besides, Sport is the only mode where you can recuperate the battery, so charge the battery while driving. The other modes do not allow recuperation. At least, no. They allow this, of course, if you brake or slow down or going downhill. But in Sport, the petrol engine helps recuperating the energy and loads the battery. And you can go up to 37 kilometers all electrically, unless you're not driving 120 kilometers per hour full electrically straight, of course. I'm not talking too much about consumption. We just drove the car around about 200 kilometers, and that's just not enough to give you real numbers, especially since we've driven most likely just to do the Let's Drive video, do some other video shots, and that's not really comparable with a normal driving fuel consumption thing. If you go in Comfort, we have an adaptive suspension, so if you go in Comfort, it's more comfortable than in Sport, of course. In Sport, it's really pretty hard, pretty stiff. In Comfort, it's a little bit more comfortable, but still pretty sporty. So if you have problems with your back, you should really make a longer test drive, because I think even in Comfort, you feel the street. You really can feel the street. And by the way, I'm sorry we're working with artificial light, but it's just getting too dark outside. It's winter time. So the suspension gets pretty stiff in Sport and enables you pretty sporty driving. However, at least for me, the BMW i8 is not really a full-size sports car. My driving instructor the other day told me he names the BMW i8 a gentleman's sports car, and I totally agree. It feels like this car is, really gentle, but still very sporty, but not to the limit. That's not a car you take on track or you really go to the edge. but you enjoy just driving very sporty with the car, and I think that's the purpose for the car as well. The difference for the steering, I think the steering is fine in comfort. That's what I expect from a steering of a sports car in comfort mode, but once I put the car in sport, I think it could be way more direct. I think with the steering, BMW could improve to the next generation a little bit, because that's, you know, still in the middle. You have a little, you know, rest where it's not really reacting, and well, just as it is, I would appreciate it being much more direct for my taste. The brakes are fine, and braking is a good thing because, you know, you regain some energy. So, well, in Germany we have a saying, once you brake you lose, or once you slow down you lose. In this case you can't really say it because you always win at least energy for your battery. Overall, if you're going, I will try to do so, if you're going all electrically, like I do now, I press the E drive button, so now I'm driving fully electrically, 70 kilometers per hour, 80, 90, so it's really a silent runner this way. And even if you're not going in this mode but in comfort and the combustion engine kicks in, it's still a pretty silent car. Wind noises start at pretty late, I guess, like 160 kilometers per hour, but then going full speed like 250 kilometers per hour, the car gets pretty noisy. Wind noises as well as the sound of the combustion engine. However, all in all, I enjoy driving this car for sure. Acceleration is fine, you feel the power of the car, even it does not have like a muscle car, you know, really a lot of power. Even it has a really downsized engine, you know, that's not a V8, doesn't have 3 liters or more, it's just 1.5 liters, a 3-cylinder. You have to keep this in mind once you drive the car. And I think BMW's engineers did a really awesome job putting together this car, because once you drive it and you feel the performance, it really feels awesome. Well, talking about assist systems, we have a traffic sign recognition, works with charm, and we have the head-up display. I love the BMW head-up display. It's such a crisp information, well presented, never aggressive in any way. It's just nice on the road, and you see everything, and you can focus on the road, either on nighttime or daytime. I love it. I would never buy a BMW without the head-up display, for sure. We don't have a lane keeping assist, we don't have an ACC, just the cruise control, regular cruise control. There's no lane keeping support. I think they kind of, you know, let those systems out because it's a sports car. You want a sport car or just a, you know, a regular car, then go and buy some of our sedans. However, we do have a sensor, or we have a radar in here, because the car warns you once you encounter another car too fast. So if you don't brake hard enough, you get a warning. And that's pretty much it. We have the big professional infotainment system in here. It comes by factory setting. I love the system. It's easy to handle. It's good to read. The information are very crisp, and you get along with it pretty fast. Plus, the navigation system is pretty clever, giving you all the instruction, and works fine with the head-up display as well. We do have the Harman Kardon sound system in here, and I have to confess, I haven't tried it. You know, I'm really like to test the audio systems in our test cars, really test them, but with the BMW i8, I enjoyed driving too much, I have to confess. You know, it was a blast just listening to the system, to the sound, and just, you know, again, putting it in sport and letting it go. Oh yes, I like it. I think really, that's cool. So I have no idea about the speakers, I'm sorry. Just because, so you can see it, I will open this door again. No, actually, I just want to sit down. I'm so tired standing around. So, that's the end of our review. It's time for me to sum up, and we have those 4 categories. Driving fun. I say thumbs up. I really like the concept of a plug-in hybrid sports car, even so it's not, for me at least, it's not like a real die-hard sports car. It's rather what my instructor says a while back when I first had the chance to drive the BMW i8. He said it's a gentleman sports car. You know, it's not really for track. You won't have fun driving this car on track because at some point the battery will run out of power, and then you only have those 231 horses from the rear, and they're fun, they're fine, but that's not the real pleasure. The real pleasure is when the electric boost kicks in and you feel how this whole car is just pushing forward. However, driving fun, I say yes, I like it. Usage as a daily driver, I say the BMW sucks. And I mean it. I mean really. It's a 2+2 seater. I mean, please, BMW, just be honest. Rip those 2 seats off and make it a real compartment for our luggage. You know, that at least and my babe can go on a holiday with this car and put some suitcases and bags there. Because the trunk with this 154 liter, that's nothing. You know, you can't even get a keg of beer in there, really. So, no, that's usage as a daily driver, very, very limited. Or your way of living differs so much from my way of living that you say, well, that's okay. Well, for me, it's not, period. Driving comfort. If you're not driving in sport, the car is comfortable and feels comfortable. The seats are nice and everything is good. When your batteries are low or the battery is low and you want to regain some electric power to have more driving fun and you go in sport, the suspension gets really stiff and that's the only way to charge the car during driving. So you have to go in sport, you know? Even so you don't want to drive sporty, that's kind of, you know, mixed up. But overall, it is pretty comfortable for a sports car, of course. And I told you earlier in this review about the fuel consumption. We don't have enough time to drive, so I can't give you any numbers, period. That's it. If you have any questions, please put them below in the comments. If you have an own opinion about the BMW i8, please let me know. Put your opinion in the comment. I like to discuss. And if you even own a BMW i8, I would like to hear your experience with this fine car. I really would like to what you think, how much you've driven so far, and what the highlights are of this car from your point of view as an owner. I would appreciate your feedback for sure. Well, if I said anything wrong, correct me in the comments and so on. If you liked this review, please give us a thumb up. And if you really liked it, please share it on your social platforms like Facebook, Twitter, or Google+, or even put it in your personal private playlist on YouTube. That helps us to grow this channel, and we want to grow. So, excuse me, if you haven't done so, tell your colleagues, your friends, your family, and whoever about our channel, especially if they are planning to buy a car. Maybe the car of their interest is already reviewed by our channel. We appreciate it. And if you want to help us with some money, you can by now. We are offering Patreon and Tippy as a service, and you can support us with just $1 a month. That's fine, you know. If you're rich, just make it $100. That's fine too. We don't mind. We're not mad at you then. Well, we hate your fortune, but still. No, that's it. Okay, I'm done. I hope you enjoyed the show and you tune back in next time when it's Ausfahrt.tv in English. I'm your host, Mr. C. Goodbye. See you soon.